So the reason why I get into it with people a lot is because, especially in politics, you have liberals, especially white liberals, they have this bad. They try to tell people of color, the blacks, the Asians, the Hispanics, the immigrants who are now citizens, how to think, how to feel, what to think, what to feel, what to do, and who the enemy is. And I just don't like that. Like every time I turn around, I always have some white liberal trying to tell me that I'm oppressed for whatever reason, and we need their help in order to get out of the situation that we're in. The problem I have with conservatives is the conservatives, especially the black ones, are always talking about free thinker this, free thinker that. However, if you don't think in the same manner that they want you to think regarding certain situations, then they always label you, all these dumbass terms that literally nobody cares about. So that's why I get into people a lot. I think that if I'm gonna be a free thinker, I want to think how I want to think about whatever situation. And I hate when people try to force me or compel me or try to shame me for having my own opinions, especially when we're talking about the black community and I'm talking to someone who has never been in the black community, has never even experienced anybody's inner city. And then it's so funny because when that person figures out that the real numbers are more effective than, their ideas, they want to bring up per capita. And the reason why per capita is ineffective whenever you're talking about categories of people is because when you use per capita, you're drawing your data from a certain number of people in a certain area. And we all know that the majority of blacks and Hispanics live in inner cities. And so the majority of the time when they start being wrong, or their argument starts to fall apart, they'll be like, well, per capita is bullshit. We need to talk about raw numbers. But on top of that, if you've never experienced the black experience, or you've never lived in an inner city, don't talk about it. And I don't like when, I'll give you an example. When I ran for Congress, I ran in South Central Los Angeles. Obviously, that's where I'm from. I'm a black Republican. And so as a black Republican running in a black community, black and Hispanics, the majority of the people in the community, being where I grew up at, I always have white conservatives telling me, well, just tell them this, just tell them that. And I'm like, how about you just freaking show up? But then I always have white liberals telling me that, oh, well, you got to feel this way because you're being oppressed for whatever reason. And it's like, that's not true either. We don't need white liberals telling black people what's wrong with our communities. The things that are wrong with our communities are things that we can fix. It's our fault our communities are the way that they are. It's not the government's fault. It's not anybody's fault except for ours. We're always electing these black ass politicians who do nothing for us. And because they've been in office so long and they use trigger words like racism and all of this crap, we develop this emotional tie to these people, and we keep electing them to the point where poverty, poor education, poor quality of jobs has become a norm. So that's why I really hate when liberals, especially white liberals, try to tell me what my opinions are and how I'm supposed to feel. And I really hate when conservatives, especially black conservatives, try to tell me what side of the aisle I'm supposed to be on and how I'm supposed to approach a situation. I don't like it. The white conservatives, cool. You don't listen to them. They just don't mess with you. Black liberals, I'll argue with them all day. The only thing I hate about it is the same government that effed them over is the same government that they're begging for help from. And it's like, they didn't do anything for you then. They're not going to do anything for you now. What you have to do is elect the people into office that are going to do something for you. Somebody who has the same ideologies as you. Somebody who's young. Somebody who's willing to put in the work and go through the fire for you. That's my problem. I don't want liberals, especially white liberals, telling me what to do and how to feel and how to think. And I don't want conservatives telling me that, especially black conservatives telling me that, well, if you believe that, the black community is oppressed, and, you're fake this, or you got to believe that every single black person that's killed by the police has a criminal record and they deserve it. That's bullshit. Free thinking, means free flow of ideas, period, point blank. And you shouldn't judge anybody because their ideas are different from your ideas. If your ideas work, then you would be in the inner cities influencing people, registering voters, and getting more conservatives elected. But black conservatives don't do that shit. They get on the internet, they talk a bunch of shit, they get the amens, they sell merchandise, and they leave everybody else hanging. They don't give a fuck about us just as much as white liberals don't give a fuck about us. It is what it is. Be mad, but that's just what it is.